Alright, this is going to be a video of this 5-bladed antique brass GE vent ceiling fan. They got the Habitat Restore for $10. It's got a pretty good price on it. And it has a very interesting canopy, as you can see up here. It's pretty ornate, and it did come flush mounted. Personally, if it was my choice, I'd down raw mount it, but flush mounting actually looks okay in this fan. And see how it's cane, reversible to just plain oak. I do believe this fan was mounted outside because there's a lot of dirt on top of the fan and some bird poop as well. It's pretty gross, but I cleaned it off and it's good now. And when I first got this fan, hung it on the testing mount, and when I plugged it in, made sure all the wire connections were good, of course, it just sat there humming. Now, I knew all the wire connections were good. I knew I didn't wire it backwards or anything. So what I naturally thought is, okay, probably the capacitor just drained away over time and can't start the fan anymore. So I replaced the capacitor, expecting it to work, and it didn't. Then I thought, okay, probably it's the motor, but I was just playing around with this little reverse switch here, because sometimes these reverse switches, they're quite finicky, and you never know. Sometimes dirt can get in there and just kind of short some of the contacts out and mess up all the capacitor combinations. And when I pushed it down real hard, it actually started to work, which is unusual. So I thought, okay, probably the reverse switch is just broken. So it actually works now, which is odd. I haven't really ever seen that problem with a reverse switch. Yeah, it's from 1987, and I believe the brand is Air-Cool because I searched the model number up online, and that's the result that comes up most, Air-Cool. Now, it's probably not a Canadian model of ceiling fan because most Canadian model ceiling fans from 87 and, up until pretty much the late 90s had reverse pull chains, not switches. So this is most likely a US model. Anyway, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to start with a very high speed. And I did put a little piece of aluminum or foil tape here just to indicate RPMs, because I know a lot of people have been asking me about that. And yeah, so anyway, turn it to high. It makes an audible hum due to the fact that it only has one capacitor on 3 speeds. Yep. I'd say it's going maybe about 100 RPMs. 115, 120 maybe. And the air it's kicking out is actually pretty good for a basic builder fan from the 80s like this. It's, yeah, pretty good. It's wobbling a lot, so I'm going to turn it to medium now. Medium is also kicking out a good breeze. It's actually quite nice. Here's kind of like a top shot or top view, whatever you want to call it. Yep. Here's low. Just I'm going to slow it down a bit. And the low can get pretty slow. You wouldn't expect such a slow low from a 52-inch 5-blade fan, because usually have a bit of a faster low, but this one's quite slow. It's not aesthetic, but it's nice. And yeah, it's pretty much hums on all the speeds again, because due to the fact that it only has one capacitor and electromagnetic discharge just builds up, and that's what makes that humming noise. Anyway, turn this off. Slow it down here. Alright, now I'm going to talk about some of the pros, cons, and general ranking of the fan. One of the pros is this nice design here. It was fairly common back in the 80s, but it's very cool. It's decorative. There's a bit of a tarnishing there. That's the only thing, because again, it probably was mounted in an enclosed porch, but there was dampness and humidity. Also, I like the fact that there's a lot of, there's like a black accent inside the pretzel bracket. It's kind of hard to see, but with the naked eye it's easier to see, but on camera it doesn't appear too well. And the cane's nice, again, reversible, just a plain oak, but I like the cane side. Also, it came with this nice pendant. You don't generally see wooden fan pendants in this dark cherry finish like this. It's unusual. It's also has this long chain. The original owner put a whole bunch of extensions on. Yeah, now I'm going to talk about some of the cons of the fan. One of the cons is that reverse switch. It seems to be approaching the end of its life. You have to really push it down hard or really push it up hard to, yeah, see, it makes a really loud, odd clicking noise. I haven't heard that in reverse switches, so it's probably going to need to be replaced soon, but it still works, so I'll eventually get to that. And there's also speckling on the fan due to the fact that it was in moist conditions, like I said. And this G vent screen, black screen over here, was actually peeling off, so I had to glue that back down. Also, there's little tiny cracks in the cane. It's really tiny little cracks. You have to look really close to see them. But yeah, other than those really few things that more have to do with the environment than the fan itself, it's not a bad fan. It's a basic, 80s utility fan, and I would give it 4 to 5 stars. I mean, it's obviously a bit cheaper quality, but again, a good utility fan for just day-to-day use. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and more to come, I do promise.